Well, hello, it's October and welcome to Friday Night Chats with Garage Geek. I hope everybody had a great week. So, tonight's chat, I'm trying to get back into the swing of things and I'm kind of all over the place. But I'm going to be honest with you. Tonight's episode is going to have to do a lot with comic books, although I do have movies and books to talk to you about. But it's going to be heavily leaning toward comics. So I will do all the movies and that kind of stuff first, and then just go to town on my comics. So I hope that's fair. And if you don't like comics, you can turn off. But you shouldn't do that because I make everything entertaining. So I hope. So let's go ahead and talk about a bunch of stuff. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is on HBO. There is a new version of Salem's Lot. Now, I did not watch it yet, but we're going to watch it tonight. And it's a scary movie, and we're going to watch it with the kids, and maybe it's R-rated. I don't know. But we'll be there, so it'll be fine. Probably the young kid will fall asleep, I hope, before it gets too scary. But I'm laughing because my daughter, when I actually first met her, so she's my stepdaughter, when I first met her, I would watch her when her uncle and her mother would go to work. And so I'd be there alone with her, and she was fixated on the Salem's Lot original movie. She had the DVD, and she would make me play the two scenes over and over again as a 4-year-old. She might have even been 3. There was the scene where the kid is scratching at the window to get in. And she loved that. She made me play it over and over again. And then the other scene is where the vampire slowly, I think, bites the priest. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this girl is going to grow up and be one sick puppy. But nope, she's totally fine. She does work in a dentist's office, so I don't know if there's any connection there. But yeah, I went off on a tangent. Memories, right? But there's a new Salem's Lot. And we're all looking forward to watching that. I love Stephen King's books, especially the earlier ones. And so I hope they do justice with this. Although it's only a 2-hour movie, so, that could be iffy. After that, we watched a couple movies. The first one we watched was, I picked a scary movie just by looking at it. It was called I Saw the TV Glow, and I wanted it for the teens. It looked like a teen horror movie, and it was PG-13. So I thought, okay, well, it's one of those A24 really strange movies. One girl really liked it, but the other one didn't. I liked it, and we had a discussion about it afterwards. So what I take this movie to be about, if you go ahead and watch it, it's not really spoiling much. It's about the main characters. I think what they're trying to do in this movie is to get the audience to understand what it's like for a trans person to live in their own body. So it's kind of a body horror movie, but then it's also and the main character is biracial. So there were those kind of things that we were trying. Like, I thought that's what the filmmakers were trying to do, and I thought that they did a great job. Now, this is a weird movie. It divided us in my house, our house, because my husband didn't like it. I did. The one girl liked it. The other girl didn't. So it was really divisive. But it's one of those kind of horror. It's not even really a horror movie. It's like a dark, creepy movie. And there's this idea of a TV program that totally captivates its audience and brings them into another world, and like they come to life and this kind of thing. And I found this movie very interesting, but if you're the kind of person that doesn't have much patience for a quasi-horror movie that tries to, it's all symbolism. If you're not into that, then you won't like this movie. But again, I saw the TV Glow, and I think it's at least worth a watch because it's very interesting. Another movie that we watched for the kids was, where is it? Marcel, the shell with the shoes on. Now, I really loved this movie. I thought it was so cute. but I could see how this might be annoying. This shell is very precocious. So it's this character is like a kid who is smart beyond his years and is always asking questions and being very independent. And and if you don't like that type of character, you would find this movie to be grating and annoying. I thought this little shell and his character was very endearing, and I liked the movie from the beginning. My husband hated it, but the girls actually really liked it. So, and also the boy did too. So, I don't know if you like animated movies, and this is actually real life. How do you say that? It's like it's everything is a real movie, but with this animated stuff put into it. And I thought they did a great job. I would recommend this. I'm definitely giving this one a 4 out of 5. And the TV one, I saw the TV Glow, I would give that a 3 out of 5. Okay, next. The little one was getting all antsy and he wanted to watch a movie. So I threw on a superhero movie that I wanted to watch so that he would watch it too. Now, I'm not the kind of person that puts movies on to quiet down children. I let him play a lot. But I was tired and I felt like watching a movie. And he wanted to watch a Batman one, but he had watched Batman one the night before. And so I said, no, let's try The Flash. Because when this movie came out, I really enjoyed it. And I didn't understand why it got such bad reviews. So I wanted to see it again. And you know what? I really enjoyed it again. I think this is a great movie. And I don't know why people think it's so bad and why it got bad reviews. It is really fun. And I mean, I love the beginning about the baby shower. That's hilarious. I just think it's a well done movie, and it like weaves together like the past, the present. It brings all these different ideas. I remember when I reviewed this the first time, so I don't want to like rehash everything that I said. But what they do in the end when they bring in all the alternate realities of the different DC characters throughout the ages, like not the ages, throughout like television history, and even one that never got to be made, but what if it would have? I just thought that was a really fun idea, and the whole movie itself is really great. So, I mean, it's not the best superhero movie, but I really enjoy this movie, and I don't know why it gets such bad reviews. Okay, the final movie that I'm going to talk about is The Killer. Now, this is funny because I told my husband to, search up Killer and click it, and he started playing it, and I was like, wait, we've seen this. And it was the movie with Fassbender, right? Michael Fassbender. And I was like, wait, no, this isn't the right movie. Because that's also The Killer, but it's got K with I fallen down. And I really enjoyed that movie. But this is a remake of the John Woo movie, The Killer. And it's hilarious because the first scene you just see, what do you call it? Those, not pelicans. Pigeons. You see pigeons flying around in this old church, and that's exactly what happened in the other movie. And in fact, I think he does that in all of his movies. And I was wondering if he was just, mocking himself or making fun of himself, because that's what he's kind of known for. And he puts it like it's the first thing in this movie. And so I thought that was kind of a funny in-joke. This movie was a lot of fun for me. I enjoyed it. It's I would say it's definitely a 3.5. To 4. I enjoyed it. It's not going to be the best of this type of movie, but for a remake and action movie, it was fun. It was very enjoyable, and I mean nothing deep. So I would probably lean more toward the 3.5. But we all watched it and we had a great time watching it. So I mean, if you have Peacock, you should definitely just go ahead and watch it. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about are 2 books that I read. So the first one is going to be called Heavy. Now, it's like a really bad blurry picture, so I'm going to kind of hold it back here. So this is Heavy by Kiese Lehman. Or, yeah, Kiese? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. So I started listening to this one because it was on the 100 best books of the New York Times 100 best books of the last, I don't know, of this century, like the last 25 years or something, of like since 2000. And at the beginning I was like, oh, this is just another one of those, memoirs. You get, a kid going through abuse as he's growing up. Okay, I mean, that's nothing to shake a stick at, but it's very common, and of course you feel bad and da da da. But it changed after he got to his later adolescence and up. This became a very different book. This became so much about society, and it was like a commentary on society wrapped in a memoir. And what was fascinating is it's called heavy because probably because of the subject matter, but also because of his weight. He's a really he basically is a fat kid, and he's constantly made fun of. He never feels good in his own body. And so as he's growing up through all these, like abuse and the where he lives and all the problems that he has, weight really becomes an issue in this book. And there's a real element of body horror in this, and it's real because this is it's a memoir. So this is what this guy went through and what he's doing to his body. And even though that gets pulled into the background, it's always kind of mentioned and alluded to, and it keeps your mind focused on that, because as he's going through all of these problems in his life, we're constantly reminded about his weight and what he's doing to his body. And it kind of becomes this background that really propels the narrative forward. And I was like creeped out because, when I hear, descriptions of what people are doing to their body and how that's affecting other parts of their body and that kind of thing, like I don't want to spoil it by telling you what he's doing, because he goes through various incarnations, because he takes out his psyche on his body and he goes through these various transformations. And it's all the more really interesting because it's a true story. So I'm going to say that the beginning was a little bit to get through, but after that, this book kicks into high gear, and this is a great book. So I definitely agree that this deserved to be on that list. It's a really good book. Okay, I'm looking. You're like looking at the side of me. Sorry about that. I'm looking at my list of the things that I have to talk about. And you know what? I'm done. Oh no, one more book. Sorry. Plunder Squad. So I finished today another Parker novel by Richard Stark, Plunder Squad. So I think this is the 11th or the 12th book, and I think this wraps up the trilogy where he was considered to have made a comeback with this character, but go into dark and different places. Now, this is kind of I think the peak. And then after this, he takes a break for, 10 to 15 years, I think. And then he comes back and writes like 10 more novels. So I've kind of reached like a turning point with these books. And like I said, I've read like 11 or 12 of these. And this book was so good, just like all of them. I love the Parker novels. And what's really great about this book is the ending, which I don't want to give away, but I don't, this is like the 12th novel. Are any of you reading these? I don't know. But I still don't really want to spoil it. But basically nothing goes right in this book. And they do this crime. And Parker, of course, gets involved. He's part of the crime. And just nothing goes right. And him trying to salvage or, make the best of a bad situation. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. Again, I love these Parker novels. They're so cool. So now that ends my movie and TV journey. Now, a friend of mine just sent me a notification that Olga Tokarczuk, which, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, just published a new book called The Empyseum, and it's a health resort horror story. And we are both looking forward to reading this book. So, yeah. Thank you, Judy, for letting me know about that. I actually put the book in my my wait list for the audio, but I would actually really prefer to read this. But I'm so strapped for time right now that even though I want to read it, I probably won't. Although I will say that I am almost done with the second Han Solo novel, and I'm going to continue right on to the third. I really enjoyed the first one, as I said in my Fabulous Four video, and I'm just going to keep reading those, and I'm going to go right on to the Lando Calrissian trilogy. All right, enough about me. I do want to talk a little bit about music. I've been listening to the first two albums of Pat Benatar, and it was funny because my friend Judy is like, Pat Benatar. She was always kind of like cringe. I don't know why. I really like Pat Benatar, and she's got such a great voice. But the funny thing is, I mentioned to Mark Morris, like, hey, one of my guilty pleasures is her song "My Clone Sleeps Alone," because the lyrics are just so bad, but it's just such a rockin' song. And her voice is just stellar in that song, but it's just the silliest song. And yeah, so it would be what I would categorize as one of my guilty pleasures. Such a great song, though. And then I was thinking, I haven't really listened to her albums in a long time, so I went to the first, I listened to it over and over again, and then I listened to the second, and I've just been going through them. I've also been listening a lot to I don't know her name probably, Tanika Tikiram, which she's a really, really great artist that I didn't know much about, but Morten Ustad, I can't say his name now, Morten Ustad, he recommended her, and he said that she was so famous in Denmark, and that like she didn't get as much fame in the rest of the world. And so I was like, oh, let me go ahead and listen to her. And even a song of hers came up in a playlist when we were in the car. My husband loved it, which was really strange. So maybe you should check her out. But I'm probably going to review the album that I've been listening to, because I started with her first one, and maybe the Pat Benatar's coming up. So besides music, I'm going to go right into my comics now. So the first thing that I want to talk about is Donald Rex. Now, I don't know if you remember, but Donald Rex happened to be lucky enough to be a guest on my show. So everybody knows I'm kidding. Donald Rex is one of the old timers in the what do I say? In YouTube. He's like Sleepy, been around forever. And I was lucky that he graced my show with his presence. But he actually did two things. Number one, he didn't do it. He will do it. He is going to be at a comic book convention tomorrow in the San Antonio, Marriott San Antonio Airport. And I was talking to him because he didn't know much about the guests. I'm like, oh, I know Christopher Priest's name. Like, he's so famous for, his run on Black Panther. And I was talking to him about it. And so I told him I'm going to announce that he's going to be there on my show so that all my fans would go there and swamp him. So if you happen to go there tomorrow, just take it easy. Don't swamp him all at once. Like, he's an older man. He might have heart trouble. So don't just, rush him all at once. So anyways, he sent me some comics, and I was so happy because he sent me some gems. Let me go ahead and show them to you. Now, he sent me these comics. I'm going to go over this. And the first one is, there's this Archie cover, and I didn't know that these Archies could be so filthy. Now, look at this cover. So, it says, "We just arrived, and already Archie has the ball rolling." And look where his hand is placed. Now, of course, he's pointing toward this, but his hand is clearly in his crotch. Now, this has got to be like a filthy cover. Come on. And look at the way this girl is dressed. I mean, that's hilarious. Thank you, Donald. This is gold right there. That's gold. I want to see Archie being nasty. That nasty Archie. He sent me a couple of 10-centers. I mean, look at this. Anytime I get a 10-cent comic, this is going in Mylar. So this is going to look gorgeous. Look at that. A 10-cent Donald Duck. A 10-cent Chip and Dale. And a 10-cent Felix the Cat. It's one of those old Adels before they became Gold Key. Look at that. Look at how awesome that is. Poor mouse. He's getting this. This cat wants to clock him. Clock him good. Then, he sent me 2 more Archies. They're not as filthy, but like, look at these. I love these things. Look at them. This one's hilarious because he's like, girls, could you please just shut up so I can take this picture? Then he sent me some comics that I don't have much of. And I'm so happy because he sent me 4 romance books and they're hilarious. So, Hollywood Romances, it's a Charlton. Kisses from an Empty Heart. And look at down here. Wait, where is it? Where's the slap? Like, oh yeah, she slaps this guy right in the face. This is great stuff. Look at her pulling his hair, like, oh, you're gonna kiss me, even though they're empty. And then this one makes me laugh. Sweethearts. Who'd ever believe it? Our bashful wallflower winds up with the yummiest man in town. Like, how is this woman a wallflower? Like that, and look at her outfit. It's so... How is she dressed like this, bashful wallflower? I'm not buying it for a second, but that's a great cover. 2 more. A romantic story. And this one's... Excuse me, this one's pretty funny. So she's a... Sorry. Scratch Jennings made it as a top folk and country singing star. Could she make it in real love? Look at her. Oh, and look at this. This has a full figure poster of Susan Day inside. I love Susan Day. That poster better be in there, Donald Rex, or I'm sending this back. Something else that I got is I got this Valor. I haven't even opened it yet. So these are EC Comics reprints. Now, I've been buying the reprints from EC in softback, but I decided to treat myself and get this hardcover. And I'm going to tell you what else I did. I've been buying soft covers, and the PS Artworks has been putting a lot of their books out in soft covers, and they're called softies. And I said to myself, I should just stick to those. But I thought to myself, you know what? You deserve to get the really nice ones. And so these are slipcase editions of these reprints. And they come like this without the slipcase. And then they also come soft cover looking like this. But I thought, I love this full frontal art. I don't know what else to say. It's full frontal art. I love these and they're so gorgeous. And I thought, well, you know what? If you just buy one of these a month and you actually read them, then it's worth it, right? You don't have to buy all of them, but you just buy one a month and you build up your collection slowly. And what's really nice is that if you put these in order on your shelf, they actually make the logo of this. That's pretty cool, right? So I have volumes 3 and 12. And I'm definitely going to be reading these and talking to you about them, because I have to justify me buying another one next month. So what do you think? Is that a good plan? Does that justify it? Now, last thing I'm going to show you tonight is that I made some bids on my comic shop, and this is what I got, right? I usually get all the worst stuff because I let people outbid me. But there were 2 things that I kind of wanted, and I went high on the bids. And the first one is, there's this Disney's DuckTales magazine, and it was the first issue. And I thought, like, if I find this in the shop, it's going to be at least $8 to $10, maybe more. And so I decided to go ahead and I paid $8 for this. It's in pretty good condition. So let me know what you think if I spend too much. Next, this was my big purchase. Everybody in the, comic community, all the heavy players, they all have their old horror magazines and they show them, and I'm always jealous. And so I'm like the kid on the playground. Everybody has their Iron Man comics and I show up with an Archie. And so I need one old horror comic. And so I bought Eerie #4 and I paid $15 for it. And look, it's in really nice shape. Now, Normally, I wouldn't spend a lot. Like, I'm one of these people that goes for the low hanging fruit. I buy the ones that are a little bit beat up, but I get a break. But I decided to treat myself so I have something to show when I'm on the playground. And then I got two more sets. So I got a Hulk set, and the reason I wanted these is because I'm trying to get all of the Marvel superheroes, which are Hulk reprints. And so I got 3 more of those. And then with that came some Hulks. And the thing is, they're not in great condition. I'm really glad to have this one. I don't know if I already have it or not. And yeah, so they're great Hulk issues, but the real reason I got them was for this. And it was pretty low that I won, like these. I didn't pay much for them. And then the final set that I got is I'm trying to get all the Atlas comics, or as many as I can. And this was a set that I probably shouldn't have bought because they're in really bad condition. But I had these as a kid, and I actually really loved them. Now, if you don't know Atlas Comics, they were a short-lived comic company, and they were kind of an independent in the way that Image. But they came, I think, 20 years before Image, and they tried building up a comic company, and they only made like about 60 issues. But what they put out was really, really good. And as a kid, I loved their comics, and I had almost all of them. So now I'm trying to get them again, and these aren't in great condition. So this is Iron Jaw, and he's, as you can see, a kind of Conan character. Here is, I think, Howard Chaykin doing the Scorpion. And you could see, like, this is not in good condition. But look at that. Look at that woman. The Destructor. And I think in later issues, like, Steve Ditko did this one. And also, Steve Ditko, I think, did Tiger Man. And all of these comics only went for 3 or 4 issues. All of them. They stopped after that. Here's the Demon Hunter. And this one, Sleepy Reader said he really likes. So I'm going to mention him again in a second. And then this one's such a bad condition, but look at the Tarantula. So yeah, a lot of them were knockoffs of other characters, but I thought that they did a really good job. And my favorite one was Planet of the Vampires. I need to track that series down. I loved that series as a kid. It was kind of like Planet of the Apes meets the Omega Man. Now, Sleepy Reader, when I told him about Atlas Comics, he was like, oh, I have a bunch of those, and I was meaning to, read them all when I got them all and do like a video. But another YouTuber kind of beat him to it. But I'm telling him, you know what, you need to do it anyway, because I would love to hear your thoughts on these comics. And I would love to actually read these and do a chat with him. I've got about 4 or 5 more. I'm very far from having the whole collection, but man, do I like Atlas Comics. So if you're not into comics and you don't know Atlas, I hope you were able to learn a little bit about them. They were a rival to Marvel and DC that they didn't last. But they did put out a lot of quality work. Well, that is my chat for this evening. Of course, I really want to hear your thoughts. What's coming up? I do have... I don't have the stuff here. But I'm going to... Of course, at the end of October, I'm going to be doing my Fabulous Four. But also Nate at Hall Yeah Comics is also going to be doing a book... What do you call it? Book read, what do you call that? A book club. He's going to be doing a book club on are these monsters? I'll put a link to his video in my description so that you can go ahead and buy it. I bought it, and it's on its way. So it's a graphic novel, very well reviewed, beautiful art. So I'm waiting for my copy to arrive. And I want to thank again Donald Rex. I hope you have fun at the comic convention tomorrow. And he's gonna be there, I think, running one of the booths. So I wish I could go and see him, and just to meet him, and then maybe buy a couple of things from him. And I need to get hot on this because I'm going to be doing this. God, I'm drawing a blank. I'm tired. I'm going to be, reading this. And, but look, I'm like halfway, and I need to get, and I only have like 2 more weeks, and that's going to be with Scott at No Solution. But yeah, just a lot has been going on. But I'm determined that I'm going to read this, and we've already picked our next book too. So enough of my rambling. I should end this now. Everybody have a great week. Start watching some scary movies. Doug Anderson is watching Barbarian on my recommendation. I'm waiting for him to be finished because I want to know what he thinks. Like, I loved Barbarian, and it's got a weird ending, but it's such a fun movie. So if he doesn't like it, I'm going to be giving him the stink eye. But otherwise, everybody have a great week. And as always, I appreciate the comments, and thank you so much for the support.